Guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only, and yeah guys, today I am back with the next part of what if Naruto was neglected by his family and decided to take the position of Hokage by force. So yeah guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed the previous part of this series, and if you guys have not seen it, please guys do so, it would be really helpful to me. And yeah guys, I wanted to tell you guys that I have made a new Dragon Ball channel and I have already made the very first part of it, and soon enough I will upload the next part of what if Goku had Gohan's potential. So yeah guys, if you guys have not seen it, please check it out as I have put the link of that video within the description below. So please follow and subscribe to that channel, and do tell me how you like the videos in the comment section of that as well. So yeah guys, before starting this video, I would like to make a request to all of you guys who are watching this video. If you guys are new to the channel and have not subscribed yet, please guys do so, it would be really helpful to me. And yeah guys, I have also put the link of my Instagram within the description below, so please follow me on Instagram. So without any further ado, let's start the video. Last time we left off as we saw that how Naruto challenged Minato for the position of Hokage as a battle has just begun in the previous part of this series, as Minato decided to, you can say, end the battle as quick as possible, as completely believing that he was stronger and superior to Naruto, even though he has heard many things about how powerful he has gotten over the years. So he decided to come up with a plan that he will not banish Naruto after he will defeat him. No, he will demote him to a Janin and put him in the same team as his siblings so that they could bond with their family, as well as, you can say, he could protect them. So he decided to, you can say, use his taijutsu to knock Naruto out as quick as possible. But to his surprise, the moment he was about to make contact with the face of Naruto, it was like he was in some kind of loop. He was unable to reach him no matter how fast he was able to move. Like there was infinite distance between his face and the face of Naruto, even though he was an inch away from his face, as Minato quickly realized that Naruto was able to make his own space-time ninjutsu just like Minato, who could teleport, along with, you can say, just like Obito, who was able to use a space-time ninjutsu to teleport part of his body into a different dimension. Naruto was able to create infinite distance between himself and any jutsu, any attack. He was simply untouchable by that mean, making his space-time ninjutsu to be even superior to that of Minato's as well as Obito's as the battle began. So Minato decided to try Naruto out using many ninjutsu, but it was not working. On top of that, when he tried to use senjutsu, as Naruto simply laughed at his face, saying that how he was a perfect sage to a caliber that with a snap of his finger, Minato had gathered natural chakra in his body, started to leave his body at an enormous rate as Minato tried to grab onto it, but it was not working. The nature chakra simply left his body on the command of Naruto like it was nothing, shocking Minato as well as Jiraiya as they have never ever heard of such a thing. As Minato simply could not believe it, as Naruto decided to show a bit of his own ninjutsu, you can say expertise, as he was able to make a lightning dragon which was far and far superior to that of Sasuke's Kirin Jutsu, as Minato was at awe, as the whole, you can say, sky was lightened with thunder in it, as Naruto unleashed his attack, destroying all the area. It was like a Biju Dama has gone off in the place, as it was that much destruction in it. But Minato was able to teleport just away and was able to save himself, as Minato noticed that somehow Naruto was stopping him from using Heroishin. Was it space? Did his space and time ninjutsu, you can say knowledge, was that great that he was able to stop other such, you can say, space-time users to make them stop using their techniques, as he was really at awe at the, you can say, capabilities of his son. And then Naruto stopped his movements like it was nothing. Minato was trying to blink, but the distance between his eyelids was like infinite. He was trying to breathe, but the distance of, you can say, air to his lung was almost infinite, as he was every and each small movement became impossible at that moment. But Kakashi was able to pull down a barrier a little bit, as both, you can say, Menma and Naruto attacked Naruto, but Naruto got the great idea as he easily knocked both of them out, but taking a bit of their chakra. After all, this was the perfect opportunity and he was not gonna lose it. While on the other hand, Minato came out of his restraint when Naruto lost a bit of focus as Minato tried to attack Naruto once again, but Naruto was having more than enough of it as he entered the battle after, you can say, decimating Minato like he was nothing, shocking most of the people there. So yeah guys, that was the last part where we left off at the moment as the shinobi simply could not believe their eyes, their Hokage, their legendary fourth Hokage, a Hokage who said to be even stronger than, you can say, the first Hokage. Well, in my personal opinion, that is a bit of a stretch. But anyways, as in their eyes, he was the strongest Hokage who was able to defeat 1000 shinobi of Aiwa like they were nothing, was defeated with the, you can say, in the hands of the son he had, the one they called a failure, the one they called a demon who had defeated his father, and now, as they look towards Shinobi, simply could not believe their eyes. They were confused at this moment what to do, but their decision became very clear when over 500 Ambu Shinobi came in front of them and kneeled in front of their true leader, or rather, their real and new leader as the Ambu commander came in front of Naruto with a, you can say, well prepared code for him as Naruto nodded as he started to, you can say, dress with the code as it was written behind it, the fifth Hokage, as most of the shinobis were shocked at this moment. Never in the history of, you can say, Konoha, the whole Ambu forces had decided to reveal themselves, and they were really shocked to see that they were over 500 elite shinobis, and at this point their choice was already made. There was little they could do about it. Konoha lost but clear, and so they decided to kneel in front of their true and new leader as well. While on the other hand, Kushina as well as Jiraiya and Tsunade rushed toward the unconscious form of Minato as Jiraiya quickly caught Minato, as he started to shake him but then he noticed that Minato was just exhausted and knocked out at this point as Tsunade started to heal him as she sighed. He's alright, Jiraiya, he's not injured much, but he is, you can say, severely exhausted at this point and knocked out. I think that in 2 or 3 days he should be able to wake up as Jiraiya sighed in relief, but then he glared toward the direction in which the shinobi forces were, you can say, looking towards Naruto. He was about to go there to, you can say, teach him a lesson, but he was stopped by none other than the third Hokage who looked towards Jiraiya. Jiraiya, that is enough. As Jiraiya was about to say something, but third Hokage simply shook his head. Jiraiya, you do not understand. At this point, Naruto is the new Hokage, and he's the fifth Hokage. As Jiraiya simply scoffed, as if that little brat, I will ever accept him as the Hokage. Minato, as Hiruzen decided to speak, Minato is no longer your leader, Jiraiya, and be careful with your new words. And you will find it soon enough that Naruto is not like me, or you can say, like Minato, and you will see it in time, so do not piss him off because one thing I can tell you about him that his anger is something to be feared of. As Tsunade and Jiraiya simply looked towards each other and then toward their sensei, knowing that Hiruzen do not care about such things, while on the other hand, Kushina was still worried about Minato, as well as you can say Menma and Ruko who were still unconscious, but apparently they were only knocked out, while on the other hand, Kakashi was glaring daggers towards Naruto. He has humiliated Minato in front of all of his shinobis and take over taken over his position like it was nothing. He really hated the situation. But the laws of Konoha were clear as day, as Naruto looked towards all of his shinobis and then he looked toward the shinobi elders as well as the council who were now nervous at this point and not knowing what to do about it, while on the other hand elders were thinking that they could take advantage of the situation, that Naruto was still young and would need their advice and they would be able to increase their influence, and all that thoughts were going in their mind, not knowing that those dreams are never gonna come true. While on the other hand, Naruto simply looked toward the shinobi elders and the council as he said, I will be taking over the position of the Hokage and the office of the Hokage. In half an hour, I want a full council meeting of the shinobi, civilian, as well as the elder council. Now, dismiss. As he looked towards most of the shinobi who were surprised with the authoritative tone in it, but nodded nonetheless, knowing that this was their new leader from here on out. As they nodded and went off, as Naruto also vanished with his most trusted Ambu at this point. As Naruto was looking outside of his window to his village as the door opened as the third Hokage walked in, as there was silence in the room for some time as third Hokage decided to speak up. So are you happy now, Naruto? You have achieved your dream. As you can say, third Hokage speak towards Naruto, who's still looking outside of the window, not looking towards his old sensei, but decided to respond nonetheless. To be on the contrary, Sensei, I have much things to do. Do you honestly believe that only taking the position of the Hokage was my only dream? As Hiruzen simply shook his head. I cannot change your mind on that front, Naruto. Now can I? As Naruto simply shook his head, as the third Hokage raised an eyebrow. So what do you want to do with the council? You and I both know that they will try to put stun on you and try to, you can say, contain as much power as they could for themselves. As Naruto simply shook his head, they can try whatever they want, Sensei. I could care less about it. As for the council, they will be taken care of in my way. As Hiruzen sighed, knowing that some bad things are gonna come, a lot of bloodshed at that point, but he simply shook his head. There was little he could do about it, and to be honest, it has been coming for years now. So, let it be. As he nodded at that, and what about your family, Naruto? As Naruto simply shook his head, I do not consider them my family, Sensei. You and I both know that, and I could care less about them. As Hiruzen simply nodded at that, he said, finally decided to speak up. You know that the other villages will not take it lightly. They will think that Minato has gotten weaker and thus Konoha has gotten weaker. And that was the reason you were able to beat him as powerful as you are. Naruto, I think that the other nations will still underestimate you. As Naruto simply smirked at that. To be honest, Sensei, I'm betting on that. And soon enough, they can underestimate me as much as they want. It will work only in my own favor. As Hiruzen raised an eyebrow at that, it seemed that his lost pupil has some plans for the other nations as well. He nodded nonetheless as another ambu landed in front of him. Lord Hokage, the council has been summoned at your request. As Naruto simply nodded, as Naruto simply nodded at that as he vanished along with the third Hokage ready to face the music, while on the other hand the council were gathered. Some of them had smirks on their faces, though they were not expecting such a situation, but still, it is gonna be helpful. But to their surprise, the door opened and the Hokage was not there. Rather, the Kushina Uzumaki was walking in. As she looked toward most of the members, as she has fire in her eyes and anger in it as well, as she decided to take the position of the, you can say, Uzumaki clan head and took her seat, as well as the Namikaze clan head seat as well, having her to vote at this point, as most of the council members look towards each other. Well, this is gonna be fun, huh? As they, some of them thought in their mind, while on the other hand, Danzo was barely restraining himself from grinning. This situation was really profitable to him. He would be able to get more favors and power from this situation. Surely, that kid, as powerful as he actually is, does not know much about politics, and he would be able to get a lot of power from him, and thus his root will once again will rise. While on the other hand, finally the whole council chamber rooms open as the whole area started to get flooded with ambos, shocking most of the council members that were there. Over 50 ambos had surrounded the whole council chamber. As finally, you can say, the door was open as Naruto was walking in, as a pressure was setting on all of the council members. The aura of power and authority that was being released from his body was more than enough to put most of them into submission, as most of the council member, mostly the shinobi council, simply could not believe it. Their instincts were screaming at them to obey and do not piss this guy off, like alpha and you can say beta concept. Consider it that, as while on the other hand you can say third Hokage was also walking beside Naruto. As this card, you can say many people surprised. After all, Third was mostly, you can say, even though he has taken over the position of Hokage, while Minato was retired, mostly. Though here his work was mostly paperwork and things like that. Not many council meeting has been done in that era, considering that it was peacetime. So yeah, while on the other hand, Naruto simply looked toward most of them, and you can say, as they were still seated, as Naruto narrowed his eyes at that, as you can say, as a gesture was more than enough, as wind blades started to cut their chairs completely, shattering it apart, as shocking most of the council members, especially the civilian who were on their butt, while the shinobi council decided to stood up, realizing what they were actually doing. As Naruto narrowed his eyes at that, even the, you can say, the elder council was shocked at this gesture as Naruto started to walk towards his, you can say, the Hokage chair and decided to take his seat. As he looked towards, you can say, the Shinobi Council members, perhaps it seemed that you guys have forgotten your manners in the peacetime and how to respect the figure of authorities. As he looked toward most of them, as his eyes were such, you can say, those words were spoken in such coldness as shivers were going through the backs of the Shinobi Council side mostly as they finally realized things are gonna change rapidly. The third as well as the fourth Hokage has never, you can say, asked them to do such thing, even though they had done it time to time, but still, if they were not to do it, there was no such hazard in it. But in such a small, you can say, gesture, he got that angry at that point. As Naruto looked towards each and every one of them direct in the eyes. As he said, it seemed that the council has forgotten to show the respect to their true leader. Well, don't worry about it. In time, under my rulership, you guys will learn manners once again. But anyways, we are here on the important matter as he snapped his finger as the, you can say, as Naruto, you can say, snapped his finger as the Ambu simply vanished from the area, but most of the shinobis could still sense them. There were over 50 Ambu had surrounded the whole place, and now they were nervous about this new Hokage, the one who has overthrown the previous one. He seemed to not take bullshit, none of it. As Naruto simply looked towards each and every one of them directly in the eye, this council meeting is done so that if there are any objections of me taking over the position of the Hokage, then do speak at once. Otherwise, always keep your mouth shut about the matter. So I will ask one last time by unleashing a bit of his chakra as anyone. Does any one of you here have any objections of me taking over the position of the Hokage? As the aura that was being surrounding the whole council chamber, it was a dominating feeling. The figure, you can say, the power of authority as the killing intent flooded most of the area as the council members looked towards each other in pure nervousness and not knowing what to do about it. As Naruto was silent for some time, it seemed that none of you have any objections. Huh, good for you. At least I will not kill any one of you right now. For now, as shocking most of the council member by his words as Naruto snapped his finger as Ten Ambu came in front of the civilian council member. Now, from here on out, here is the decree. The civilian will have a separate council as they will have to choose one of the representative among themselves to, you can say, show what they want actually. And on top of that, their meetings will be different from the Shinobi Council. No civilian will attend matter of the Shinobis from here on out, shocking most of the council present there as one of the civilian member decided to stood up as it was none other than the mother of Sakura Haruno, also known as she decided to screech about her displeasure that how they had the right to be here and all that, but before she could say any, you can say, screech or try to do anything, a sword was placed at her throat. As you can say, a Ambu was behind her as daring her to speak anything, shocking most of the members there as Naruto narrowed his eyes as she started to stutter but decided to say anyways as he said, Lord Hokage, you simply cannot do that. We are the civilian council members. We have the right to know what is going on in the village. As Naruto narrowed his eyes, you are the member of the civilian council. Your matter is only concerning the civilians, nothing more than that. And I do not think that it's a good idea that the civilian were to know about the important secrets of the shinobis, and unless you want to go through the training of how to resist torture. After all, if the civilians are to present in every council meeting and know every secret of Konoha, then it would be easy for our enemies to simply torture them a little bit. Even simple genjutsu would be more than enough to spill them each and every secret. I do not know what the Yandaime and Sandaime were thinking when they allowed this degree, but I am not foolish enough to go through the risk. From here on out, it is my final decree. Resist, and my Ambu will be more than happy to start your training how to resist torture and all that. As he nodded at that, the Ambu nodded as he unleashed a, you can say, gigantic amount of killing intent towards the civilian council member, and they were at awe and shocked. They know that they were not foolish enough. By training, they mean they would have to spend, you can say, years with Anko and Ibiki. And it was not simply not worth it, as most of the Shinobi Council members were at shock. They never considered the idea that how the civilian council member knew many of the secret, many decisions that were taken in secret, how easy it would have been for enemy shinobi to use a simple genjutsu, and their secrets would have been spilled that easily. And now most of them were thinking like fools, as San Daime simply sighed. Naruto was not gentle about these things whatsoever. They had many discussions about the policies of Konoha over the years, but he was brutal, you can say brutally honest towards him, saying that how many of his decisions were nothing but stupid and nothing more than that, as now it was clear that he did not like the policies and how easily he removed the civilian council with force if need be. And you can say a good thing on one front, while on the other hand the shinobi council members started to murmur among each other, as well, as you can see now, the elders were getting nervous. Most of their power came from the civilian council member. Whenever there was a matter, they always, you can say, voted in their side, and thus giving them more and more power. As Naruto nodded, as the, you can say, Ambu decided to escort all of the civilian council members outside of the council chamber. As while on the other hand, Naruto's eyes looked toward each and every, you can say, the shinobi council member, and then his eyes looked toward the, you can say, the elders, as he said, well, today I would like to, you can say, give the elders a bit of honor, and therefore, after all, this is their last day as the advisor, shocking most of the council member. It was a well-known fact that the elders were the part of the, you can say, the elder council, and together they can even overthrow the, you can say, the decision of the Hokage. But it was a shocking turn of event that the Hokage was simply dismissing them. After all, it was never, you can say, that easy. It would require the vote of the whole council, the major authority, and this Hokage is not getting any favors from them, as they nodded ready to vote, even though most of them did not like the, you can say, the elder council. As you can say, Homura decided to speak up. Lord Hokage, you are young, you may not know about it, but the Hokage do not have the authority to dismiss the advisory council. Once it is settled, it would require the vote of the council to come together to vote on such matters. As Naruto was silent for some time, as Danzo was smirking inside. Huh, he was foolish and does not know the, you can say, how things are actually run here. But then a smirk came to Naruto's face, a cold feeling run through most of the council members as Naruto smirked. Perhaps you have forgotten, elder. The laws of Konoha are completely, you can say, are the only thing that truly mattered in this situation. The council member, the heads of the, you can say, respective clan, each and every person in this room present is bound by the laws of Konoha. Only one who is above it, only one whose the word is the law itself is the Hokage. But perhaps you are needed to be reminded of that fact, the laws of Konoha about the council itself, as he snapped his finger as the, you can say, the Ambu general arrived in front of Naruto with a big book, as Naruto nodded as the, you can say, general decided to speak up. Konoha laws section 5 article 40 about the council, about the elderly council. The elder council member are chosen by the Hokage and the daimyo, and with the, you can say, approval of the council members, but and therefore cannot be dismissed only with the authority of the Hokage. At this, the, you can say, council members smirk, but for not gathering power in few hands for a long term of time, the elderly council can only be in power in terms of only two Hokage. At this, there was utter shock in the whole council members as third Hokage simply sighed. He already knew about this law, though he never practiced it. But now there was no need for a vote whatsoever, as Naruto simply smirked at that. As you can already see, elder, laws of Konoha clearly stated, made by the second Hokage as well as the first Hokage, that the advisory council could only remain in power in terms of only two Hokage. Minato Namikaze was the second Hokage in your term, so therefore you cannot remain in power. As you can say, Koharu, Homura, even Danzo's eyes widened at that fact. They never knew about such a thing to be a law of Konoha. After all, they were so you can say, comfortable in their seat of power, knowing that even the Hokage cannot simply dismiss them like that, and they have more than enough council members in their state to remain in power for a long time. as you can say Koharu started to speak up. But Lord Hokage, you need our advice. How will you run the village? You're still young. As Naruto looked towards her, don't worry, woman. I'm pretty sure that Hiruzen Sarutobi, third Hokage, would not mind being my new advisor. As for the second position, it will be filled in time. And I'm not foolish enough. Perhaps you've forgotten. I have been a Ambo for a long time and knows most of the things that are going on in the village. So I do not need your advice on the matter. Ambu scored them. As you can say, Danzo gritted his teeth. He did not want it to do this, and at this point there was little choice to do about it. He had to eliminate this Hokage as quick as possible. Otherwise, all of his power, all of his root would be, you can say, taken down. As he gritted his teeth on that, as you can say, Hamura and Koharu decided to, you can say, protest a little bit, but you can say Ambus were already unsheathing their swords at this point, and they knew it was, you can say, not to be. All the power they have gained over the years, all the influence, it was gone in a snap of finger. They never knew about such a law to exist. They were more than happy to consider that the Hokage could not simply dismiss them without the approval of the council as well. So therefore, they would remain in power for a really, really long time. Now, this law has really screwed them over, as they decided to not for the moment. They will have to take care of this Hokage as quick as possible, otherwise, he will bring ruin to them. As now, Naruto looked toward the council members as he looked towards each and every one of them, and now they were getting nervous at this point. As Naruto decided to stood up from his seat as he looked toward the council member, in times I have been a shinobi and I have been in the Ambu. I know each and everything about how the council has been operating over the years. As he looked toward Shikaku Nara, Shikaku-san, can you tell me what the work of the council actually is? What is their duty? What is their, you can say, true purpose of being here, as Shikaku saw it troublesome, as he thought the council is there for the working as an advisory role to, you can say, help Hokage to make decisions. As Naruto simply nodded at that as he looked towards one of the another Shibi, Aburame, as he said, can you tell me, Shibi-san, what the, you can say, the power of the Hokage truly is? What is Konoha? Is it a democracy or is it a dictatorship? As there was a dead silence in the whole council room, knowing the answer would truly be the end of each and every power they have gained over the year in the, as working as an influence. As Shibi, you can say, Aburame was silenced for some time but decided to answer anyways, knowing that they were done for. As I said, Konoha is a dictatorship in each and every way it matters. As Naruto simply nodded at that, but the council over the years started to think that they have the authority to make decision instead of the Hokage even bringing this, you can say, so-called system of votes and all that. Perhaps you have forgotten what the, you can say, true clan heads, the very first clan heads of your respective clans when they came to Konoha agreed upon. It was stated the council was only made so that they could advise and have a say in the matter, but the final decision is always and always up to Hokage. You can vote all you want, you can vote a anonymous vote, all I care. My decision is final even if it is the same as your decision, or is it the complete opposite? There is no middle point at this point. I'm reducing each and every power of the Shinobi Council at this point and therefore returning it back to the advisory position. You can either accept it or you cannot accept it. I could care less about the matter. This council meeting is over, as most of them were at utter shock at this point. The civilian council was no longer a part of the council. The elder council was dismissed with the loss of Konoha, and on top of that, the shinobi council was stripped of its powers, as there was little they could do about it. They would have to do something at some point, but still, the powers that this Hokage possessed at this point was simply too much, and they would have to take care of him, as they nodded nonetheless and decided to leave. While on the other hand, you can say Hiruzen Sarutobi was the only person left there. Hiruzen Sai. Now though you do realize that you have made most of the, you can say, clan heads here your enemy, as well as you can say Danzo will not sit quiet and the civilian council will try their best to get into the power, As Naruto simply shrugged, "It does not matter to me, sensei. They can do all they want. The only true power that is really matter is the power of the shinobis here, and where their loyalties will lie, the one who will have the power as well." As Hiruzen sighed, his student, this decision may look harsh, but there is always and always something going on with Naruto, and he always has a plan for each and every decision he actually makes. Make now, a bit of, you can say, time skip. Though not many people liked the new Hokage, but there was little they could do about it. Laws of Konoha were clear as day, and they cannot simply, you can say, throw the village in whole a civil conflict that would cause their other, you can say, shinobi villages to be against them and all that, and there would be a lot of things that could go wrong at this point. Though they simply shook their heads and decided to accept the situation for now, but they will take care of this new Hokage as quick as possible. As Minato Namikaze has been many things. He was a hero. At one point, he was considered to be the strongest shinobi in the whole shinobi world. Needless to say, he has been many things, but now he was considered a failure as a father and a disgrace as a Hokage. He was the only, you can say, cage in the history of, you can say, the elemental nation who has been overthrown from his power like that. As he finally, you can say, his eyes started to open a little bit as he heard, you can say, as Minato's eyes started to open after, you can say, 3 days of rest, he was finally coming to the consciousness as he started to look around the, you can say, the room in which he was present. As he quickly realized that he was in the hospital, but why he was in the hospital? As he grabbed his head, the memory started to come. He remembered when he took the position of the Hokage once again, and then he remembered learning about his firstborn son Naruto, and after that, the challenge which he lost, as he remembered in his head what actually happened, the whole fight, how outclassed he actually was in the whole battle. There was nothing he could have done in that battle to win anything. As on top of that, you can say he is no longer the Hokage, as all the, you can say, the weight of the, you can say, whole situation came to his mind and to his shoulder as well. As he started to look around to see, you can say, sleeping form of Kushina, who also started to move. As Kushina quickly realized that Minato was awake, as she launched herself towards him and started to hug him and started to cry. As Minato was also, you can say, quite surprised and decided to hug back a little. While on the other hand, Tsunade, Jiraiya, Menma, and Ruko decided to walk into the room at the same time, as they quickly realized that Minato has awoken up. As they rushed towards him and started to ask him how he was feeling, as Minato nodded at that. As after some time, as Kushina decided to look towards Minato, as she has explained the whole situation, that how Naruto has dismissed the, you can say, the Elder Council by the laws of Konoha. When Minato heard it, he was also shocked to hear that the, you can say, advisors could only remain in power in terms of only two Hokage, and Koharu, Hamura, and Danzo has been in power from the time of third Hokage, and even the fourth time has came to an end, so therefore they can no longer remain in power, and someone would have to take the position of the advisor beside Hokage as well soon enough. While on the other hand, you can say he also learned about how Naruto has dismissed the civilian council, saying that how the enemy shinobis could easily put them in a genjutsu to learn about many secrets of Konoha. So therefore, they cannot be present when important shinobi secrets are being discussed. As Minato was really dumbstruck by the logic, he never even considered it. It has the, you can say, the civilians have been a part of the council since the time of the third Hokage, and they have remained in power in the, you can say, whole term of Minato as well. But the major shock was when Naruto has stripped the power of the Shinobi Council as well, as by bringing the original contract done by the first and second Hokage with the all the clan heads that came into Konoha, that the only true power that is being held in Konoha is the Hokage, the leader. After all, it was a dictatorship, not a democracy, and the elder, you can say, the clan head would only fulfill the purpose of being a advisory, and having a word in the decision making, but the final decision is that of the Hokage. So therefore, there's no like unanimous vote or majority vote. No, no such thing actually exists in it. As Minato Sai, he knows about the dictatorship part, but he was so used to doing things as well as the third Hokage that they never even, you can say, push the whole thing as even knowing that the Hokage is the only one who holds the true power. But Minato do knows that things will not end well that quickly. After all, people like the, you can say, the advisors as well as the Shinobi Council will not, you can say, accept the situation. They will try to get rid of him. As he sighed, this whole situation became because of him only if he, you can say, actually cared about his son. But his major folly was when he declared Menma his heir to the position of the Hokage. That was really bad decision. Come to think of it, it was not like the, you can say, only the descendants of the Hokage or students could become Hokage. No, anyone could become Hokage if he were to prove himself and loyalty and strength. So it was really a rash decision, which has, you can say, really brought this whole situation up to their family. As he sighed, there was little he could do about it. As Jiraiya decided to speak up, Minato, we have to do something about it. The clan heads are not happy about the whole situation. They are discussing how to, you can say, dismiss Naruto as the Hokage as quick as possible and make you the Hokage once again. Don't worry, Minato. We will work together and make you the Hokage once again. As Minato sighed as he simply shook his head. Don't worry about it, Sensei. To be honest, I don't think that I could remain in power any longer. As this shock, you can say, all of them present, after all, they remember how, you can say, how much Minato loved being the Hokage and he wanted to be the Hokage for a really long time. As Kushina decided to speak up, but why Minato? Why did you want to become the Hokage again? It's not like I want something bad to happen to Naruto, but it is clear that he's not Hokage material. His decision will cause a, you can say, civil conflict to begin in Konoha soon enough. As Minato sighed, you do not know and understand things, Kushina. When Naruto challenged me, I decided to do a bit of research about it. Naruto is all about deception and the forward thinking. He's mostly famous for that. And if Naruto has done something like this, then trust me when I say it, his reputation precede him. He has planned for everything. And I don't think that things are gonna end well for the clan heads or especially for the Danzo situation if they were to do anything against him. I am willing to bet that he's already prepared for the situation itself as well. As Manma decided to scoff at that, trust me, Dad, he has only got lucky in the battle. I'm willing to bet that with a little bit of more training with Jiraiya Sensei and I would be able to defeat him if there is truly such a law as that any blood relative of a Hokage could challenge him for the right. Then he's no longer is gonna be Hokage. Soon enough, I will take my true position as the Hokage. As he had determination in his eyes, as Minato simply shook his head. Manma, don't do anything stupid. You do not know. If Naruto were to lose, he would be banished, his chakra would be sealed, his memories would be, you can say, erased. If you were to challenge him now or anytime soon, the Naruto will not hesitate to pull all of this situation. Hell, he could even kill you during the battle, and there would be nothing anyone could do about it. At the moment, Konoha is that, you can say, running by the book itself. As Tsunade decided to speak up, what do you mean by that, Minato? As Minato sighed, perhaps you have forgotten. Tsunade, how he has gotten his position. He has challenged me by using the laws of Konoha. He has dismissed the Elder Council by using the laws of Konoha. And he has put the Shinobi Council in its place by using the laws of Konoha. So there is nothing, not even a single thing he has done outside of the laws of Konoha. And if Nenma or anyone to challenge him, then he will go by the book as well. And I fear what will happen in the situation. So he glared toward Menma and Ruko. You two will not do anything harsh. You are lucky enough that Naruto did not, you can say, kill you for intervening in the battle, and he could have done it, and there was nothing anyone could have done about it. As Menma and Ruko gritted their teeth, but before they could do anything, a Ambu landed beside, you can say, in front of them. As shocking most of them present, as Jiraiya quickly realized who this person was. This was the Ambu commander himself. As Jiraiya decided to speak up, what are you doing here? Huh? As you can say, Ambu commander looked toward Jiraiya. Jiraiya of the Sannin, Tsunade of the Sannin, Kakashi, Hatake, and Menma and Naruko Uzumaki Namikaze, you have been summoned by the Hokage. As you can say, this surprised most of them present. As Jiraiya said, alright then, we'll be there. As trying to dismiss him, as you can say, Ambu Commander was still there. He did not move as Jiraiya looked towards him. As I said, we will be there in time. As Ambu Commander simply shook his head. You do not understand, Jiraiya said. You have been summoned by the Hokage, effective immediately. You will come with us. As you can say, the whole room surrounded by the Ambu itself, as Jiraiya was really shocked. After all, he was a figure of authority. He was a Sannin. Never in his whole life, you can say, the Ambu has, you can say, disregard his order. They always followed it to the letter, even though he was not a member of the council. He was not a clan head, and but he was still the student of the third Hokage and one of the members of the Sannin. You dare to disobey me, Ambu Commander. As I told you, we will be there in time. As Ambu Commander looked towards Jiraiya, Jiraiya said, perhaps you have forgotten. In terms of position, you are a retired shinobi, and therefore, my position as the Ambu Commander is superior to yours. So, perhaps you need to remember that, and you will come with us, along with Menma, Naruko Uzumaki Namikaze, Hatake Kakashi. You are under arrest. As you can say, Kakashi was shocked, but he was already surrounded, and you can say he decided not to struggle, wondering what this situation was all about. As Tsunade decided to speak up, and on what charge he's under arrest. As Ambu Commander looked towards Tsunade Sama, as he addressed her as Sama, but Jiraiya with the sand, as all of them noticed that, as he decided to speak up, Hatake Kakashi has, you can say, broken one of the laws of Konoha in he has interfered in one of the, you can say, sanctioned battle which was going on at the moment, and you can say lowered the barrier so that Uzumaki, Namikaze, Menma, and Naruko could interfere in a sanctioned battle that was going on, and one of the most important battles that were going on at the moment. And on top of that, Hokage-sama had decided to not, you can say, put penalties on Menma and Naruko at the time, since they were yet to be, you can say, passed by their Jonin sensei, and therefore not actually shinobis or genin, even though they have passed the academy. But at the moment, Hatake-san has to come with us, as well as you two guys. But before that, as you can say, Kakashi, before he could react, a seal was slapped into his forehead, which knocked him out as Jiraiya was about to move, but Ambu surrounded him. I would advise against it, Jiraiya-san. There is something Hokage-sama want to discuss with all of you guys as well. So you will come with us. As you can say, they were now really surprised at this whole situation. They never considered it to be like that. But Minato knew that something bad would really happen because Naruto was going by the book, and that was really a dangerous thing. But you can say, hey guys, here I will left this part. Hope you guys enjoyed it. For the next part, you guys already know the like goal and the comment goal. Please complete that, and I will upload the next part as soon as possible. So yeah guys, I have put the link of my Dragon Ball channel within the description below, the link of my friend channel who has newly made a channel as well in the description below, and the link of Instagram within the description below. So please follow and subscribe to the respective channels. So yeah, peace.